All right, we just wrapped up the Elite 11 camp here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, here with Ohio State commit Kyle McCord. Kyle, you had a great day on Tuesday during the Pro Day competition. You won that competition. Kind of talk through that performance, the preparation leading up to that, and kind of how you felt you executed.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of the throws that they're going to have us do, so coming into it, I had somewhat of an idea of what it was going to be like. But just coming out, focusing on each throw in itself, and the details that go into it, I think was key. And just kind of relaxing and knowing that I've done these throws 1,000 times before in my life, and I felt like I came out and spun it pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, does it feel, obviously everyone wants to win. I mean, you're a competitor. I mean, does it feel good to win something like that with the best quarterbacks in the country here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely always a competition no matter what we're doing here. So to come out and set the tone early, I think I went 5th and kind of set the bar high, and then to come out on top is pretty neat.
Yeah. I don't think Monday was maybe your best day, just kind of talking to to you guys, and I feel like you kind of really settled in obviously on Tuesday with the Pro Day, and then you had another good day today. You had one of the best scores on the drill today, where probably a little more physically daunting. I think you were able to pace yourself a little bit on the Pro Day thing. This was very high tempo. What was that like today, I guess, going through that? Everyone was kind of laboring there by the end.
Yeah, it was interesting because, playing quarterback, you don't necessarily think that you need to be in, great shape. But, you definitely saw today that, it tested us. I think all of us can agree on that. And, by the later half of the drill, it's definitely your legs are starting to get heavy, and really had to, deeply focus, and really concentrate on each ball. But I felt like I did pretty good. I put together some good throws. I ended up hitting the target, I think, 15 times. So happy with the way it turned out today. Obviously I could have done a little bit better, but I'll take it.
It had to be encouraging, I guess, to maybe, you finished strong. I mean, Tuesday, Wednesday, very strong. I mean, you always want to get better when you're doing whatever it is you're doing to make some progress maybe from the day before. I mean, do you feel you did that? Do you feel you continue to improve throughout the week?
Yeah, no doubt. I felt like Monday I came out a little slow and a little off, but I mean, no matter what you're doing in life, I think the biggest thing is how you finish. And I definitely felt like I finished these last 2 days off the right foot. So, I'm proud of the way that I kind of bounced back from, a mediocre day for myself, and then finished these last 2 days strong.
Did you get to talk to Justin at all? I know he was here working with you guys a little bit. Any tips or advice or anything?
Yeah, no, it was just great being around him, kind of picking up little bits from his game, watching him throw, and some of the things that he does, I think, are really helpful to my game, and I can implement in my game, now. But, he's definitely cool to be around and kind of soak up the knowledge from him.
This is obviously a very strange time. You got a camp season wiped out. Not that this was going to be super important for you for like recruiting or anything like that, but quarterback's so important to get reps and to make sure you're staying sharp. How has this been for you in terms of the challenges of that? Do you feel you've been able to kind of stay relatively sharp during all this?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the biggest thing when everything got shut down, I think back in March, was just trying to find a way to get better. Whether that's lifting in my friend's garage, or it's sneaking onto a field and getting some throws in with a few of the receivers. I think it's just all about finding a way, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job up to this point. And obviously, some states it's lightening up. In Jersey, I think it's lightening up a little bit too. So hopefully things start getting back to normal a little bit. But it's definitely been interesting time. Just trying to get work in really any way I can.
Well, let's be optimistic here and assume that there's a season. You're able to go out there with your teammates, have a senior year. Obviously, we know what the team expectations are at that program. That doesn't change. Like, some things with you, like what are some things maybe you can be better at? Where's kind of your focus at heading into your senior year?
Yeah, I mean, this year I feel like my biggest emphasis would be on getting better all around. I think physically there's obviously room to improve, but mentally and the leadership part of the game I think is somewhere where I want to grow a lot this year. Especially going to college next year. I think the jump from high school to college is going to be really big, but if I can start focusing on some of those smaller things that aren't necessarily physical, I think would be a great start for me going into next January.
And we'll kind of wrap us up just a little bit of recruiting. Obviously, the class is probably about 80% full at this point. There's not a ton of spots left, but there are some key guys out there. Are you talking to anyone right now, and kind of who are you working on right now?
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of guys. Emeka, been on him for about a year now. Really, ever since I committed, I've been trying to get him to Columbus. Tristan Lee, obviously, he's going to be a big piece for us. I know the coaching staff is putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of attention on him. And then a few other guys on defense, JT from Washington, Derek Davis, a few other guys that just trying to finish out this class strong with. But it's definitely going to be an interesting few months. Obviously, with visits being pushed back, I think until August 31st was when the dead period was pushed back to. So just trying to do anything that we can as commits, I think, is huge, and especially in this time when they can't technically be on campus. I think that just makes our role even more important.
What do you tell? Obviously, you're building relationships with them, so it's not a constant sales pitch or anything like that. But kind of, how do you approach it? And obviously, I mean, some of these guys might be different. I mean, and especially guys, guys like Derek and JT, especially, are kind of quiet guys. They're not big talkers. How do you approach these guys at this point and just kind of, sell them without selling them, so to speak?
I think the biggest thing is just building a genuine relationship early on and get to know them for who they are as a person rather than a recruit. And building from there. I think the biggest thing is just going at them from a perspective that they'll understand and they'll get. It's not all about the football aspect. Obviously, the coach is going to sell that to them, but I think as commits, I think the biggest thing that we can give them is kind of a little bit of the brotherhood. I mean, we're all really tight, all the guys that are committed, and just trying to sell them on that and be a part of something bigger than yourself. Which I think we're doing a really good job on, and then obviously you've seen the success that they've had, whether it's going to college football playoff or win the Big Ten or send guys to the NFL. I think that's self-explanatory.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, Kyle. Safe travels home. Good luck as you get ready for the season. We'll be out to see you in the fall.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.